My name is Clare. I have lived up in Golden Gate Canyon for about 12 years. And when we bought this property, my goodness, it was a blank canvas. We've added so much to it and had the privilege to sort of be able to create a sanctuary that really gives back to the space and fits in with the natural environment up here. And everything up here wants to kill my plants. You know, we have just these wild temperature changes, hail and ridiculous winds that come through in the winter. So we have these big storms come in and then it's very dry. I mean, we're high desert, I suppose, in a way. We're at 8,500 feet. So this is where it started. And being an English woman in America, I really wanted to create a little bit of England, which was ridiculous in the long run, because you're so limited by the environment. Everything that I've put in this year has been nurtured in the greenhouse. The greenhouse has now become not just an extension of this garden, but it's become the main star, and given me the ability to extend that season and really add some diversity to my garden. I started really the journey of looking into greenhouses probably 5 years ago. I wanted to think about snow loads. I know that the wind it just beats everything to death around here in the winter. If I didn't invest in something that was high quality, it would just be a waste of my money. And I feel I didn't want to go with the big guys. I wanted to go with someone who felt meaningful to me. So that's when Planta came into my life, is during this research for Canadian, Alaskan greenhouses and figuring out how all these other amazing people were gardening in these climates. One of the most amazing things to me in my deservedness, and can I spend this money on myself, is that they were actually under my budget. The snow load ratings and the wind speed ratings, it was incredible. I just did so much more research into their company, and this is where I found my greenhouse. After a few months of dithering around, deciding should I do it or not. But yeah, here's my little sanctuary. When we pulled the trigger on this and we were ready, or I was ready, I'm like, okay, we have run out of flat land. So where are we going to put this greenhouse? The process began with bringing the tractor in, and my husband leveled it as much as we could. And literally the entire thing was then done by hand. We knew we had to anchor it down really well. We put mesh underneath because of the gophers and all the little critters that love to eat everything. And then my husband came up with this idea of putting these wooden beams in. Jason bolted the entire frame to these, and these are all bolted together. And it was a lot of work, and it was an additional expense. But because my greenhouse was under my budget, I managed to, still remain within my budget, despite building like a monster of a base. Like, it's so robust. So once we had it, the base done, and the structure is being built up here, I really wanted to get some really rich, beautiful, nourishing soil. So we had a lot of cubic yards delivered to the house. We filled it from the hardwire mesh up to the top of the base here. We wanted to create a way that the greenhouse would take care or collect passive solar warmth, especially in the winter. We put in a really good layer of pea gravel so that when that heats up, it holds onto the heat and disperses it at night once the sun's gone down. So we put in raised beds, and I think these are 4x12s, and I wanted to leave a little extra space so that I had some workbenches for all the seeds and everything. in the winter and spring. And so my husband and I built these raised beds with lumber from Home Depot. It's non-treated, and then I got some amazing bed corners because these can get very expensive if you buy them already made. I knew that I wanted to do succession cropping. I knew that I wanted to garden through the winter, and I really wasn't sure if I could keep it going all year round. But with a lot of research, and in the end, it's all in, and I've literally been feeding myself off of this greenhouse since December. And it has been so nourishing and so rewarding, and so much has been learnt about it. You can see really everything that's flourishing right now is what I planted in January into the bed directly. And so I have the wild rocket or arugula, which was so amazing, but I let it go to seed and flower because I'm using it as an aphid trap, and I'm also using it to draw in the pollinators. So I have 3 different kinds of beets to start with. And then I did my little leeks, and I didn't know that leeks were such slow burners. And they've taken their sweet time, which is okay. But like I said, this has been feeding me the eggs and sauteing the beet greens and roasting the beets in the oven, and the arugula in salads. It's been feeding me for months. So I started learning about succession planting. So what I did is I started putting in little baby summer squash, and they're down in here. My cucumbers. And so while I'm still harvesting my winter crops and eating those, my little baby summer crops are coming through. So I think I'm doing something right. Went a little crazy with the seed catalog, and I got probably 6 different kinds of tomatoes. They're just beautiful. They're so happy in here. And I started all these from seed and then popped them in. Gosh, when the sun is out, this thing is just so lovely to be in, and so warm. So I really wanted to be thoughtful again of space, and now I have this beautiful greenhouse. Like, I wanted to make sure that I used all of the space, but also knowing that I did need my frivolous little spot where I could just read books, which is probably not a good use of space for a greenhouse, but I don't care. And so when I'm researching for new botanicals to add as an ingredient to my herbal tea blend, or to sprinkle on soaps or candles, this is where I sit and create. And I have all my library of beautiful poems, botanicals and their properties, apothecary books. This is where all the magic, is infused or infuses my creativity. Everyone who's watching this video will be watching it for the reasons that they love gardening and they want to have a greenhouse of their own when they're doing their research. So they'll understand that there's this moment, it's sort of like the pre-dawn chaos where the light is just gorgeous and it's just coming up, or in the evening when all your work is done for the day, you've got it done, you've trudged through and you've accomplished another day at work, or errands, or just everything that it takes to survive in this manic world. And the sun is going down, and this place is just magic. The way the light comes through, all the birds change their pitch and their cadence, and all their chores are done for the day, and you just settle in as everything sets. I would never ever want to undo what we created here, and the purchase. The whole experience has just been magic for me. It's my full-time happy place. In fact, when I have to leave it, all I can think about is coming back.